All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome here today to another edition of NASCAR Heat 5 Championship Mode on the channel. The Pocono 350 at Pocono Raceway. It is the second race at Pocono today in our Pocono doubleheader for the NASCAR Cup Series side of things. This one should be a fun time. We had a close finish at the end of the last race. Joey Logano was leading almost every lap of that final stage of the race. Blaney ran him down and passed him with a lap and a half to go as they were coming to the white flag at the end of the race. Can Ryan Blaney get the Pocono sweep here today and get his second straight win at the racetrack? We'll find out here in this one. Starting from the back, using the steering wheel once again. No practice or qualifying for the race here in this one. Racing with the steering wheel once again, just like we did in race 1 also. Kyle Busch will be starting on the pole for today's race. Chris Buescher, John Hunter Nemechek will be starting at the back. Here we go. Pocono Raceway, the green flag is in the air, and we are underway for race 2 of the Pocono doubleheader. In the draft as they go off into turn 1 for the first time, Kyle Busch leads them down there. Busch had a great run, finished top 5 in the first race at Pocono. Let's see what he can do in race 2. 4 wide towards the back of the pack already. Biffle threads the needle in between Reagan Hauff and Chris Buescher, who was on the bottom. Blaney trying to make up ground and trying to get the Pocono sweep. Back-to-back races nonetheless. Same day and all. First racetrack we have gone to for a second time this season, and that, again, is due to the fact that it is a doubleheader at the same racetrack. Stay up on Timmy Hill, getting a little side draft off Timmy. 30 laps in stage 1. This opening stage of this race just 5 laps longer than what you saw in the opening stage in race 1 of the doubleheader. Stage 2 will be the same length as what you saw in Stage 2 in the last race, and then the final stage will be 5 laps longer than what you would have saw here in this one as well. We only had 2 cautions for incident in the first race. It was pretty much a clean race despite how hard they were racing on the restarts in particular. Fanning out, going 3 wide multiple times. We've already seen 4 wide on the initial start towards the back of the pack today as Blaney's been trying to work his way through the traffic. Push now from Josh Bilicki off of turn 3. That's going to allow him to clear Bobby Carter in the 73. Big run now in the draft of Bubba Wallace. Now Ross Chastain, 3 wide, diving into turn 1 at 200 miles an hour. Wallace just kind of cut down and followed Blaney on through there. Getting by both Ty Dillon and Ross Chastain. Blaney up the middle, 3 wide. Squeezing between Suarez and Custer off of turn 2. Ethan, welcome to the stream. Contact there with Christopher Bell. Very minimal. Little bump draft to the back of Bell now down the Long Pond straightaway as you're seeing the draft work off very, very well in the opening laps of this race, just like you saw in the first race of the doubleheader. A lot of bump drafting and just drafting in general down the straightaways to get huge runs. Yep, we did start from the rear, both races of the doubleheader to be exact. Oh, contact there between McDowell and Blaney. Neither one really giving each other a lot of room. Nope, no penalization. Just decided to not qualify for either race today. Starting from the back in both the doubleheader races. No practice for either race either. Tim Irvin, welcome to the stream. Michael Turner, welcome to the stream. Big run there to the back of Corey LaJoy. Is the race 30, 55, 55? I thought it might have been 50 and 60 in the final two stages. I could be wrong on that. Already into the top 20. Same setup as what he had in race 1. It worked out for him, got the win. Why not use the same setup again in the next race on the same day? An Indianapolis doubleheader on the channel tomorrow. Again, remember, we'll run the Brickyard 400. And then the Indianapolis road course immediately after that. Brickyard 400 obviously for the Cup Series, and then the Indianapolis road course race for the Xfinity Series. Start time for the Brickyard 400, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're looking at about 2:30 Eastern Standard Time for the Indianapolis road course race, if I'm not mistaken. Jim McLeod running 19th here early on. He had a great run in race 1, finished in 6th place. Got stage points in both of the first two stages as well, but already back to 20th on the initial start of this one. Martin Truex Jr. is leading laps here, and that is a role reversal because Martin Truex Jr. in race 1 was never really in the top 10. Finished right around 15th to 17th, and he ran there basically all race as well. Yeah, next race for NASCAR Thunder 2004 is going to be Thanksgiving on Thursday. But it's going to be a night race. It's going to be about 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the start time. Because it's going to be the All-Star race. It's really the only way I could get a race in that day. But obviously, with it being a shorter race, it'll be probably less than an hour total time. So plenty of time to get it in at night. Everybody's resting off their turkey. Down to the apron again. He was able to do that in race 1 in the early going of a run when he had a lot more grip with the tires. As the car started loosening up, he obviously saw late in the race that move wasn't really able to be made. 3 wide there on DiBenedetto and Ryan Preece. Blaney able to clear both of them. Through turn 2, almost got in the wall, comes back down. Trying to block off the 21 of DiBenedetto. Jimmy Johnson running about where he was earlier as well, right around 15th. He needs to pick up the pace. He's on the playoff bubble coming into the, well, really both races today. Wasn't able to calculate the points yet for the first race, so I'll have to calculate points for both races after this. So I guess I'll be busy for about the next hour after this race while I'm watching the Michigan game and calculate the points here. Get us all up to date before the Brickyard 400 tomorrow morning. Late morning into early afternoon would be the start for that race. Slide draft on Johnson, going low, down into turn 2, and just like that, Ryan Blaney will move up to 16th. Kyle Busch leading laps early. No pit stops will have to be made in stage 1. And 1 pit stop will have to be made in stages 2 and 3, just like we saw in race 1 of the doubleheader earlier today. Especially when there's nobody around, Blaney's really able to just coast the car through turn 3 a lot easier. Despite it still being fairly early in the run, 10 laps complete. We saw the first of just 2 cautions per incident come out at lap 11 in the first race today. We are at lap 11 currently in this race. And that probably helped Blaney win stage 1. I didn't think he was going to be able to get all the way from the back to the front to stage 1. But having that caution bunch the field back together, he was able to get to the lead with about 7 or 8 to go in the stage. Now this stage is about 5 laps, or is 5 laps longer than what the first stage was earlier today. So there might be a good opportunity for Blaney to not have to have a caution and catch all the way back up through the field, as he's already up to 13th. There's Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Huge turnaround from race 1 to race 2 in the doubleheader. Stenhouse in race 1 was running right around 30th all day. He's already up to 12th in the early going of this race. Likely not going to point his way into the playoffs anyway. But you never know if he gets himself to be in position to win a race before the end of the regular season. We know he's really good at the super speedways. We still have to run Daytona for the regular season finale, so that could obviously maybe spark some high-stake energy. And that's why a lot of these drivers without wins this season are looking for that first win of the year before we get to Daytona. You don't want to go into Daytona on the bubble. And for a driver that almost got his first win of the season earlier today, Joey Logano was just a lap and a half away before Blaney was able to take the lead. Those were the only 2 laps of the race Blaney led in the final stage, or the last 2 laps of the stage, despite the fact that, or in the race I should say, despite the fact he won stage 1 and stage 2 a lot easier than what he would have, and ended up going on to win the race. So Logano's in the top 10 still, but he's back in 10th place. Blaney up to 11th, getting around Chase Elliott pretty easily. Kevin Harvick was top 5 pretty much all day in race 1. He's currently in 9th in the early going of this one. Harvick won one of the 2 Pocono doubleheader races in real life this season. Oh, I think that was Alex Bowman a little further out ahead. That might have clipped the grass in turn 3. Went just below the curbing. Ran out of room. He was side by side battling up there for position with somebody. So Blaney's fastest lap earlier was about a 54 flat. Right on the apron there. Turn 1, gets on the brakes. Definitely couldn't stick the apron that time. Car washed right up the racetrack as soon as he clipped it. So we're at that point in the run where there's just not enough grip in the tires to be able to run that low in turn 1. And he was about to make a move on Logano, fell behind. It's going to take him half a lap just to get back into position to try and maybe get around him. A lot higher line into turn 3. Blaney letting it roll in a little bit deeper. He's got to run on Logano. Going all the way to the inside now. Going to make sure Joey doesn't side draft him as he goes to make the pass and pulls back up and clears it with ease. So RB12 in the top 10 now. Halfway now through stage 1. And up to 8th for Ryan Blaney. I mentioned to keep an eye on William Byron at the end of race 1. He finished 11th, just outside the top 10. Thought he had a little bit faster of a car than that. but was kind of stuck back in traffic after having terrible restarts all day. He's in the top 10 and 9th currently right now, so already improving on about where he ran just outside the top 10 all day in race 1. There's Almirola running in 6th. He was outside the top 10 basically all day, right about where Byron was for most of race 1. Kurt Busch had a strong car in race 1. He's in 4th place. Sure, he's probably using the same setup as well. Saw him lead laps a couple times as well in the race. There will be lap traffic in the opening stage of today's race if we go caution free. Didn't see a single lap car until the final stage, or sorry, midway through stage 2 actually, because we did not have a single caution for incident in stage 2 earlier today. The only stage we didn't have a caution, we only had one in stage 1 and 3. Big run on the bottom. Matt Kenseth currently sitting in 3rd. He started at the back in race 1. Had to drop to the rear at the start and really couldn't work his way up through the field over the course of the race. But right now he is in 3rd. Blaney has moved into the top 5, passing Denny Hamlin. Big run now on Kurt Busch and Matt Kenseth as he goes for 3rd into turn 3. Big dive into the corner. Drove it in deep, got it to stick, and clears Kenseth easily. Blaney down low to try and break the draft off of Matt Kenseth. About 4 seconds off the lead. Kyle Busch has stayed right with Truex even after Martin Truex Jr. got around him in the first couple laps of the race. Kyle Busch lost him though going into turn 1. I think he got caught behind that first lap car, allowing Truex to pull away slightly. That was fastest lap of the race so far for Blaney. Again, he just gets faster as the run carries on. With this setup, look at how deep he drove it into turn 1. Clipped the apron. Keeps it rolling. Drove it in way too deep, though, that time as he quickly tries to catch Kyle Busch for 2nd place. Truex has a swarm of lap traffic right around him. And Blaney will get by Busch easily into turn 2 now for 2nd place. Truex stuck behind a couple lap cars. Still stuck now behind David Reagan, John Hunter Nemechek. Blaney drove it in deep into turn 3 as he closes to the back of the 19. Off of turn 3. Oh, and he clipped the grass and around goes Blaney. Hard hit there. David Reagan, Kyle Busch making contact with the 12. No caution. We stay green. Couple hits to the right front of the 12 machine. He didn't hit the wall at all, but Kyle Busch got a piece of it, and so did one of the lap cars. Many positions lost, and that might have cost him a chance to win stage 1. He was so close, right on the back bumper of the race leader. He was on the curbing in turn 3, and when the curbing ran out, right where the grass started to stick out a little bit more, he clips the grass just enough, and it just sent the 12 car right around. lot of downforce in these cars, but you clip the grass with the right front, left front rather, but any part of the race car, the car's going to go around. So now he has to work himself back through traffic. Man, Almirola had a big run on Blaney there, as they battle it out for position. Blaney side drafting him and pulling him now down the Long Pond straightaway into turn one. So a little bit of a dilemma there. It should be less than 5 seconds of damage that Blaney can repair it if he so chooses. Didn't really see him make a mistake in turns 2 or 3 all day earlier, but obviously in that one. Yep, exactly. Michael demonstrated the damage clock that we have here with this game to perfection. Again, simply the 5-second damage clock is anytime we have 5 seconds or less of damage, we can still repair it. Anything more than 5 seconds of damage, we cannot repair the race car. It doesn't seem like the damage is really that visible to detect, nor is there really that much that's hindering the progress of Blaney's speed. He's able to get right back up. He's 8.5 seconds back. He just passed Matt Kenseth for third once again. Blaney has not yet led a lap today. Kyle Busch has fallen way off for Martin Truex Jr. I think after Busch had made contact with Ryan Blaney after Blaney spun, Busch might have actually gotten way more damage than what Blaney had. Definitely slowed him down some. He's about 4 seconds off the lead. We saw that race one at the end of the race, how fast Ryan Blaney is, especially compared to the rest of the field, but the car is just so unstable. Not very long away from having fresh tires. And that was one nice thing, too, in Stage 2 in the last race, that he split the stage in half. He only had to run 25 laps through both Stage 1 and really in Stage 2 all the way throughout as well. It was that final run that he had to run about 34 laps under green, and that was 9 more laps than he would have had to run all day leading up to that point. That's, I think, why you saw the car as unstable as it was. Here in this one, starting things off with a 30-lap run, you're kind of seeing that late in this run. Busch got held up behind Chris Buescher, Ty Dillon. Blaney all the way to the bottom, and he is gaining a ton of time there on Kyle. Side drafts Kyle Busch a little bit. Didn't get really close to him. Blaney's just got more speed than the 18 at this point in the run. So Blaney up to second. Can he run down Truex to try and win Stage 1? He's not going to have a lot of time. Truex has a lot of lap traffic near him. He's got about 3 cars right around him. Could be slowing him up quite a bit. We'll be coming to 5 laps to go this time by as well. Blaney's got to get through these next 3 lap cars. Truex still has 1 more car in front of him. And then he's got a lot of open space. Blaney doesn't want to catch these guys in a bad spot. He won't. He'll get past them right before they got into turn 2. He definitely hustled as much as he could and drove it in deep. Make sure he had them cleared by the time they got into the corner. Back in the gas a little too soon again. Minor mistakes. Those same minor mistakes we saw at the end of the first race. He really didn't make those kinds of mistakes all race long until it came down to the final 10, 15 laps. And here in Stage 1, we've seen it probably more, I think, in Stage 1 of this race than what we might have seen it all last race. And allowed Blaney to sweep both stages and win the race. See if he might be able to get another stage win. It's going to come down to the wire. Oh, Cole Custer took his line away. Going into the turn, really had to coast it all the way through turn 2. He couldn't get back to the gas as soon as he wanted. They almost made contact. There wasn't much room between the two cars. Don't know if Truex is going to catch another lap car or not. Michelle Rafter, welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by, should say. One second is the advantage between Truex and Blaney. And we'll see if Truex tries to pull the block on Blaney, and he does. Not really a lot of room for the 12 car. Trying to stay on the left rear quarter panel, couldn't do it there. So Truex will lead at the line. Blaney now all the way to the inside. Truex still leads the lap. 2 laps to go at the line. Blaney to the lead. I guess they are going to catch the next 2 lap cars just out ahead. And if Blaney can get around both BJ McLeod and Eric Jones pretty swiftly, that's going to help him out. Splitting them 3 wide as they duke it out now for the final, I should say for the free pass position, not necessarily the final car in the lead lap, but Corey LaJoie might actually go a lap down here too. And if he goes a lap down, then they're not even going to be able to battle for the free pass position. LaJoie in 23rd. Blaney's about to lead his first lap of the race today. And he'll be coming to the white flag in Stage 1. Timed it about just as well as he timed it late in the race in Race 1. As far as getting to the lead goes, Austin Dillon about to go a lap down now too. There's one more car up ahead still. I believe that's Christopher Bell in the 95. That could go a lap down. Just one more corner to go. Bell in 21st. Blaney going to go high to try and put him a lap down. And he will. So Christopher Bell will get the free pass at the end of stage number 1 in the 21st position. But Ryan Blaney will get the green-white checkered flag, the first of 2 of them today. Blaney wins Stage 1 at Pocono. So Blaney with the win in Stage 1, followed by Truex, Kyle Busch, Kenseth, Kurt Busch, Bowman, Almirola, Hamlin, Byron, and Harvick, your top 10. And those 10 will all get stage points for the opening stage of the race today. Pit stops under the stage break now. 30 laps already in the books, just 3 seconds of damage. Blaney and his crew not going to choose to repair it this time. Try to make sure they can restart from the lead. And, yep, Michael, you're right. 55 laps in Stage 2 and 55 in Stage 3 is what it's going to look like today. So Blaney trying to save time on pit road. We'll see if they'll win the race because of it. And yep, that's likely what won them the race off pit road. Martin Truex Jr. lost a ton of spots. He lost about 7 spots there. He's going to restart in 8th place. Green flag back in the air. Stage 2 underway. Going down. Kurt Busch at the restart there in 2nd. Blaney all the way on the inside of the track. Kurt Busch maybe looking for the lead. Off of turn 1, he is there. And he's got it. And his teammate Kenseth will follow. Chip Ganassi Racing 1-2 at the front of the field. Blaney all the way on the bottom. 3 wide through the tunnel turn. Byron stuck behind the 12. Give him a push off into turn 3. Harvick got really loose in turn 3 on the outside. Gets his foot back down on the throttle. Hamlin about hooks the 12 of Blaney. Stenhouse just made it to the inside. They might have been 4 wide there. Hamlin just did not hit the 12 car in a good spot at all. Side by side for the lead. Matt Kenseth underneath of Kurt Busch. Teammates duking it out right now, and I believe they are still side by side back there. That push that Ryan Preece gave to Blaney. Blaney was at 195 miles an hour going into the tunnel turn. It's insane. 3 wide behind him still. Suarez, DiBenedetto, and Preece. And Matt Kenseth has cleared Kurt Busch, and Kenseth will take his first lead of the day, and not just this race, but that's both races combined. Kenseth will lead his first lap of the day. Yeah, Blaney pushing Suarez. Using the draft to these guys' advantage once again, and now Blaney hops to the inside of the 96. Underneath the 34. Couldn't quite slide up in between the two. There was no room there. 3 wide on corner exit. They almost made contact. Benedetto tried to take it over, and now Blaney again to push Daniel Suarez. Get the outside to work again. Wow, that just sent Suarez into the corner a lot faster than I think Daniel wanted to go. Did a great job keeping it off the wall. Blaney checked up because of it, and DiBenedetto, for the moment, took away the spot from Blaney. Blaney trying to get it back. Blaney tight in turn 3, can't make the pass on the 21, and now the 37 of Preece will get around him for 19. We're going to alternate through the different camera angles for the first time today. I think we had smoke roll. Yeah, smoke was rolling out of somebody. I think it was Ryan Preece. Caution will wave. For the first time today, Ryan Preece will bring out the caution. Austin Dillon will get the free pass back there, and still think we're just outside the pit window to make it to the end. Might have been a tire going down on Ryan Preece. They threw the caution. I think it was the tire because it looks like he's going to be able to stay in the race. If it would have been an engine issue, I think his day would have been done. So, Preece very fortunate. Not really any damage either outside of maybe just right around the wheel well. That was right in front of Blaney. Luckily, he was able to go low to avoid Preece when he checked up. Green flag back in the air. And that was our first caution for incident today. And 46 laps to go, still in stage 2 now. Everybody staying organized 2 by 2 as they go off into turn 1. Big run. All the way to the inside. Suarez kind of took away the line of Blaney. Ryan Preece on fresher tires coming through. He's on the inside of Blaney off of turn 2. Blaney with a run into turn 3, but Preece was still there. Oh, Preece just ran right into the side of Blaney going into turn 3. Blaney gave him room. I think Preece just missed the entry to the corner. 12 car going to lose a few more positions after the fact. Yeah, Kenseth won Pocono 2015 fuel mileage race. 2015, that was probably one of the better fuel mileage races in the last decade too. At least in my opinion. Blaney did not stick it at well. Don't know what I was going to say there. Blaney did not stick turn 2 at all. Got in the wall. Christopher Bell gets back by him. LaJoie gets around him though. Corey LaJoie was not for position. Jackson Thomas, welcome back. Blaney again in the wall. It's to downshift the third gear to try and get back up to speed. Oh man, 3 wide. Jones and McLeod trying to miss Blaney as they're battling for position as well. Look at how close the 12 car got. And now he's getting a push from Cole Custer down the straightaway. Blaney couldn't check up in time, got in the back of the 43 of Wallace. Blaney hustling. Block LaJoie. Making sure Corey wasn't going to get a run on him. Tap to the back of the 95, Christopher Bell. And now Bell will get to the back of Blaney and give him a shot off of turn 3. Both drivers willing to help each other out. Wide move. That was a huge run, and I think that push from Bell again really helped the 12 of Blaney out. And he had enough grip in the tires to try and run the apron there. Now tries to slide draft the 96 of Suarez. Breaking away from the draft, now driving it deep into turn number 2, and Blaney will clear the 12 of Suarez, but Suarez beats him back to the gas. And Daniel Suarez now trying to cross over. Blaney will be on the outside going off into turn 3. Priest almost took it 3 wide up the middle. Big run. Blaney is shot between the 96 and the 21. Martin Truex Jr. has led the most laps so far in this race. Kyle Busch led the first handful of laps back at stage 1. Truex ended up leading the most in stage 1. Blaney led the final 2 to take the stage 1 victory. So far in stage 2, despite the fact Truex restarted in 8th, that caution helped bunch the field back together. He got to the lead on that restart. And he's now led for about a handful of laps, if not a little more, in this stage as well. Got a car up in smoke now on pit road. We stay green. Not sure exactly who it was. No caution. They were able to get out of the way and onto pit road safely. Good run for Michael McDowell in this race today, as well as Ryan Newman. Though I guess Newman was running right about the same position. But Michael McDowell, another one of those drivers that was not competitive at all, was running outside the top 25 in race 1 here earlier today. And this time, it is Michael McDowell inside the top 15. And in a 3-car battle for 13th, that will likely be seen as Blaney will make his way past. Oh, a little contact. He clipped the grass and kind of just washed up the track. McDowell trying to get him going again. Now he looks inside himself, not going to get around him there. Definite overdrive of turn 3. It's a product of how hard it is to pass cleanly. Blaney trying to get as close to the 6 as he can without hitting him. Definitely not a lot of room between the couple cars. Moss Meat Jam 1, welcome to the stream. Race 2 of the Pocono doubleheader on the Saturday afternoon. Well, I guess it's turned evening. The first race was in the afternoon earlier today. And this race is kind of dark out where I live. First day race on the game. Pocono does not have lights at the racetrack. One of the few tracks in NASCAR nowadays that doesn't have lights. Ricky Stenhouse nearing a top 10 run. He's up to 11th. Stenhouse loses the 11th position now, drops back to 12th. We're likely going to see Blaney split this stage in half, just like he did in stage 2 in race 1. Looking to make it to about 27 laps to go or so before coming onto pit road. So in about the next 6 or 7 laps, you'll see the 12 dive onto pit road. Although we did see one caution already in the stage. Again, these guys cannot make it on field to the end, even if they would have pit right there. Blaney back in the gas too soon, and he gets turned by Byron after the contact with the wall. Back up across the center of the track. Stenhouse hits him now. And we somehow stay green here at Pocono. A little bit of damage all the way around the race car, and I believe the 12 of Blaney's just going to decide to pit now. Got back in the gas way too soon. We stay green. Lots of time lost this lap anyway. Has to make sure he doesn't speed coming to pit road, and he did not. 6 seconds of damage, just enough to where it cannot be repaired. It was a hard hit there, and I think Stenhouse getting into him at the end was just enough to put it over that 5-second mark. 4 fresh tires, full tank of fuel, no adjustments for now. And this is inside the fuel window to make it to the end of stage 2. So a strategy call at that point after the mishap. And he will hit pit road about 6 or 7 laps early. Now he should stay on the lead lap. Oh, no, not quite. There you saw Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch just lapped Ryan Blaney. Blaney coming out of the pits now onto the racetrack. Good news is he's got fresher tires. He doesn't have significant damage to the race car. He's lucky to still be running, that's for sure. He had hit the wall and he had it saved, but after he hit the wall, William Byron kind of clipped his left rear, and that's what hooked Blaney down to the inside of the track, and when he looped it back around, Stenhouse had ran into him a little bit after the fact. We'll have to wait and see how that might upset the handling of the car later into a run with that damage. Again, cannot be repaired. We have a 5-second damage clock. With NASCAR Heat 5, if we have over 5 seconds of damage, we cannot repair it. We have exactly 6 seconds of damage, just enough to where we cannot repair the race car. He's going to gain some of that time back with the fresh tires too right now. After that contact, he was well outside the top 10 when he came to pit road. Everybody else going to try to take it to the end of the run. But now that's making for Ryan Blaney to have pretty old tires by the end of this run. He can make it on fuel easily, and even a tire wear, it won't fall off enough to where he will have to pit again, but now he's going to have to worry, can he get to the lead by the time everybody else cycles off of pit road? And if he does, will he have enough of a lead that he can hang on to win the stage, or will they be able to run him back down on fresh tires is going to be the question. Blaney making this race a lot tougher on him than what he had in race 1, despite the fact he started off with the stage 1 victory. Good news is he's the first driver 1 lap down, so if we were to get a caution, he would get the free pass. Denny Hamlin there. Hamlin going to give him a shot now off of turn 1. Got 10 people currently watching right now. Thanks for everybody tuning in here to the second race of a Pocono doubleheader. Both races of the Pocono doubleheader today. In race 1, we saw Ryan Blaney win stage 1, stage 2, and win the race. Stage number 1 was won as well here in race number 2 by the 12. You're currently in stage 2. He's short pitted after having a little incident getting into the wall off of turn 2. He was deciding on short pitting anyway. Short pitted maybe about a handful of laps before he actually wanted to, but he could still make it on fuel to the end from here. And we know that car gets faster over the course of a run. We saw that in race 1, and we have seen that already in the first half of race number 2. Billy Kramer, welcome to the stream. Also using the steering wheel for this race today as well. We used the steering wheel in the race earlier today. Another light hit off the wall in turn 1. Truex, Kyle Busch battling for the lead. Lap traffic right around him. And he's still easily the first driver 1 lap down. Matt Kenseth has really fallen off. He is in 21st. Not sure how he lost that much ground. Remember, Matt Kenseth was actually battling for the lead at the beginning of stage 2 with his teammate Kurt Busch on the restart. And Kenseth has really fallen off. He might have been the driver that was up in smoke and had come to pit road. Could have made his way back on the racetrack. That's maybe my best interpretation of what exactly happened there. And if that's the case, then Kenseth can likely make it on fuel to the end of the stage. So he would have pitted a few laps even before Blaney pitted. Could be why he's got the track position on him as well. By about 19 seconds. Almost 20 seconds. Yeah, I could have very well had a tire issue. I believe he was the driver that came to pit road. Again, we saw a driver up in smoke, and it was likely Kenseth who made his way to pit road. We stayed green through it, and that is likely why all the track position was lost. And again, that was soon after the last restart. Kyle Busch starting to lose grasp of his teammate Truex. Martin Truex Jr. trying to get his first win of the season. Of all the drivers without wins, though, Truex is currently the highest in points. Again, we have 7 different winners so far on the season. Truex is sitting 8th in points, so he's pretty comfortable on points. Doesn't need a win to get into the playoffs, but you want all the playoff points you can get. This is looking like Truex's best shot, or one of his best shots so far this season, to try and get that first win of the year. Those 5 playoff points can prove vital. We have seen down to the wire playoff bubble battles throughout the course of the playoffs, round by round. That includes in real life, for instance, this year in the round of 8. We've even seen it on the game, whether it was in NASCAR Heat 4 NASCAR Heat 5 Season 1, we saw it in the Xfinity Series a couple times. And I think somebody clipped the grass up there. Again, I think it was the lap car that Truex is about to pass that clipped the grass. He's able to keep control. Big run now underneath Kyle Busch. John Hunter Nemechek was that car that was just ahead of Truex. He'll go another lap down. 21 drivers on the lead lap. Again, Blaney, first driver, 1 lap down still. Looking to get back on the lead lap here. He's got fresher tires. Again, he can make it on fuel to the end of the stage. Everybody else will still have to pit, but he's going to have to gain a ton of time. He's going to want to get back into it and have a shot to win stage 2. Now David Reagan clips the grass up ahead. Lap car's right in front of Truex. Blaney sees it coming. He goes all the way to the inside. And Blaney has now one-lapped himself. Create a little bit of separation now in the 19, and Kyle Busch is starting to run down Truex once more. As they might have a pretty close battle for the lead here before long. We're going to alternate to the different camera angles one final time in today's race here as we're late in stage 2. 22 laps to go now. We'll do this for about the next dozen laps. We'll likely see green flag pit stops by the end of this sequence of the next dozen laps. This is where Blaney needs to gain the time because everybody else will have fresher tires when they come out of the pit, so he needs to pull out about as big of a gap as he can. And obviously, again, that is going to be dependent on if we stay green. Big move. 3 wide underneath McLeod and Chastain. Not too far behind Austin Dillon, who is the next driver that he has to pass for position. Austin Dillon in 21st, only about 2 seconds ahead. Matt Kenseth is still kind of pulled away, though. And we do know Kenseth can make it on fuel to the end of the stage, so Blaney, no matter what, is going to have to try and catch him. Luckily, his tires are still at least decently fresh. He was able to run the apron through turn 1, maybe knock it off a little bit more time there. Caution. With less than 20 laps to go in stage 2, we have a caution. And that is going to bunch everybody back together. Matt Kenseth is going to stay out of the pits here. So is Ryan Blaney. They can make it to the end on fuel. So Kenseth will restart from the lead. Blaney will restart from second, but they're going to be on older tires. The good news is, though, for Blaney, he's faster on older tires than fresh tires. So if he can maybe just hold on to the track position at the front of the field and hold on to the clean air, he might be able to win the stage. We'll have to wait and see. Depends how the restart goes. He has not been good on restarts, both in today's race and the first race of our doubleheader earlier today. So Kenseth, again, will restart from the lead. These guys on a little bit older tires. They got to make sure they don't spin the tires on the restart. And Kenseth almost got the nose ahead of Blaney. Blaney side drafts him. Not going to let Kenseth get away. And now Blaney's got the bumper out in front into turn 1. He couldn't quite clear the 42. He was close. And here comes Denny Hamlin looking up the middle. Off of turn 1. Still side by side for the lead. Hamlin took a peek, and now Hamlin to the outside. Truex is pushing Kenseth. Denny Hamlin to the lead. Look at those fresh tires. Paid huge dividends. Blaney stuck in the middle, going off into turn 2. Contact with Truex. Blaney was just no match on these older tires. Contact there with Jimmy Johnson. Eric Almirola stuffs it into turn 3. McDowell shuffles Blaney out of the line. Blaney going backwards. I'd have to imagine Matt Kenseth is likely going backwards. There you see Kenseth clogging the lanes now. This could allow Blaney to get to the inside of Kenseth, really stuffing it into turn 1. 4 wide in turn 1 behind the 42, the 12. They're still 4 wide. Johnson was up high as they battle inside the top 10. Stenhouse now going for 9th place on Jimmy Johnson. Blaney trying to give as much room to these guys as he can. Gotta imagine that little bit of damage probably slowing him down a little bit also. Although it's not real heavy. Boy, you're almost bounced off the wall off of turn 3. Big run, 3 wide. Oh no, that was a bad move. Blaney tried to go 3 wide with a big run into turn 2. He made contact with the 34 of McDowell. They somehow made it through. That had the makings to cause a big accident. Blaney doesn't want to waste any time, but going to drive a little bit smarter. These are the first laps Denny Hamlin has led today. We know he's very good at Pocono. 5 wins here in his NASCAR Cup Series career. That, of course, includes 2 of them back in 2006, where he got the sweep here as a rookie, winning both Pocono races in his rookie season. And also in 2020, he got one of the wins in one of the doubleheader races from this season. Blaney 3 wide at the bottom, took a peek at least, but couldn't hold it. Here comes William Byron out of nowhere, who might have lost a lot of spots on the restart once again, much like he was for a large part of the day earlier. McDowell trying to push Blaney and get him going. Blaney on these old tires trying to take off, just 11 laps to go in stage 2. He's in danger of not even getting a single stage point in stage 2. 3 wide into turn 1. Look at the run on the bottom of the track he got there. Can he hold it, though? William Byron going to help him out and give him a shot off of turn 1. We know Byron's got top 10 speed. And he is pushing Blaney basically up to 11th himself. Almirola trying to make a move up the middle himself now. Blaney is in the wall off of turn 2. Contact. Suarez goes around. Back up across the track. Into Christopher Bell. Blaney hits the bottom. Blaney's in the wall. And a hard hit. Multiple cars pile in. Chastain is involved. Kenseth might have gotten a piece of it. David Reagan. About 4 or 5 cars piled up in an accident off of turn 2. Bringing out our third caution of the race. And even more damage to the number 12 machine. And more damage that cannot be repaired either. We'll have even less laps to go in stage 1. Diamond Jeff, welcome to the stream. Restart now in stage 2. Kenseth on fresher tires. So is Blaney, but Blaney's got a ton of damage right now after that last accident. Stay on Bubba Wallace on the restart. Oh, contact! 3 wide. Somebody went underneath the Wallace. It was Eric Jones. And as he got underneath Wallace, Wallace stacked up into Blaney. Blaney trying to side draft Matt Kenseth. Blaney is really slow. Very significant damage. Trying to keep those guys behind him here. Oh my goodness, 4 wide through turn 1. What a move by David Reagan to get by all 3 of those cars. Went underneath Chastain, Fincham, and McLeod. Seen 4 wide a few times on the restarts already today, and we saw it again there. Blaney can almost go full throttle around this racetrack with how much damage he's got. From turn 1 at least, he barely has to lift. Just how slow the race car is. Suffering mightily right now. A huge portion of that damage is both on the very left side of the race car. He kind of got hit in the driver's side door pretty hard, and then on the very front of the race car near the nose where he had hit the outside wall after spinning back across the racetrack after initially making contact off of turn 2 with the wall. Also had contact there with Suarez. That is who hit him hard on the driver's side door. And he's just kind of riding around for right now. Not really a whole lot he can do. Just try to survive to the end of the race and get every point you can. At least he got a stage 1 victory, so he scored automatically 10 points up to this point in the race, as far as the regular season standings are concerned. Not having any problems with the overheating of the race car, so I guess that's a good thing. Despite the fact he's down on power and has that damage to the front. You can even see how much damage is on the back bumper and the left rear of the race car. It almost looks like that rear bumper is swayed so far to the right as you look on the left rear corner panel of the race car. Some of that blow was from Stenhouse earlier as well. Two laps to go in stage 2. Yeah, I know the arrow light's on. And heavy damage after that last accident, but it is not repairable under our 5-second damage clock, so Blaney's just going to have to run around. Berto Sandoval, welcome to the stream. Coming to the white flag in stage 2, Kyle Busch took the lead away on the restart from Martin Truex Jr. and the pole sitter is looking to win stage 2 here at Pocono. The second race of our doubleheader. There we go, one more lap to go. Yeah, again, no camera for today. I'm streaming off my laptop, same thing as yesterday with NASCAR Heat 5. Because my camera is strictly a PS4 camera, I got to get another camera I can actually hook into the laptop to help stream. Or not to help stream, but to put in place for the stream, because the PS4 camera wouldn't work. And this helps the video quality itself. It's a lot clearer. So there we go. Top 10 cross the line, and that will end stage 2. Kyle Busch will win stage 2 here at Pocono. Followed by Martin Truex Jr., Kurt Busch, Alex Bowman, Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., William Byron, and Chase Elliott will all receive stage points in stage 2. And the free pass will go to Eric Jones. You know, that's the one thing with this game, is that if you survive the barrel roll and you don't DNF through it, you can, in this game, repair the damage and go all the way back to 0. That's one thing I don't like. That's one thing about the older NASCAR games that's a lot better, is that if you have damage, you can't repair the full amount of that damage. You repair parts of it, your speed's going to be lost. So that was a main reason why I have the 5-second damage clock, like we do right here. Green flag back in the air. Ryan Blaney stayed out of the pits. Little strategy call here. Everybody will still have to make one stop in the final stage of the race. And Alex Bowman looking to go to the bottom of the track now and looking to take the lead, and he will. Bowman to the lead off of turn 1. Without a win this season, looking for that first win of the year. Harvick trying to run him down, and Harvick's already got 2 wins this season. There's a little contact between Kyle Busch and Ryan Blaney. Blaney trying to block Hamlin, and really he's just trying to get out of the way. He's about to get freight trained. This car's very slow with the damage, and everybody's on fresh tires behind him. Christopher Bell going to give a push now to Ryan Blaney down the Long Pond straightaway. Yeah, I knew you didn't know, so that's why I figured I'd mention it, because it is possible in this game. The NASCAR Heat Series in general, they don't have an exact damage model. They don't have an accurate one, I should say. The car's handling fine for Blaney. It is just really slow with the damage. Gonna have to strategize himself into a win today. Not sure how that can be the case, but we'll have to wait and see. We have 50 laps to go. We've only had 3 cautions per incident today. A huge wreck off of turn 2, which brought out the last caution that we had late in stage 2. Wish it worked in real life. I mean, I haven't tried it intentionally, but I know it would work. As long as you don't DNF on initial impact. If you can, like, actually survive the wreck, yeah, you can repair all the damage in this game. Surprisingly, Blaney isn't the slowest car on the racetrack with this damage. You can see, obviously he's in 24th because there's only 24 drivers on the lead lap. But even the 29th place car, David Reagan, isn't really pulling away from him either. It is not impossible to see Ryan Blaney win this race on strategy. Don't count him out of it yet. Though if it stays green to the end of the race, it's just a matter of trying to figure out how the strategy would work. I think we're going to have to get a couple late race cautions if he was going to strategize himself to get out in front. Bit of a push that time from Chris Buescher down the Long Pond straightaway, and that'll shoot Blaney to get on by the 36 of David Reagan, and now Reagan to push the 12. Just enough to loosen him up, and now Reagan back to the inside. That is the main reason Blaney's struggling. Usually you see cars with a decent amount of damage on short tracks and they're able to will the car to at least decent speed, but this is a very high-speed racetrack, very long straightaways around this 2.5-mile triangular racetrack, and obviously lacking the straightaway speed is going to affect the whole overall lap time. Not as much time you can really gain in the cornering. Blaney trying to draft all he can down the straightaways to help him out. White crossover Chris Buescher. I guess Eric Jones, who took the free pass under the last cautions, in 25th. So I guess he could still technically pass Ryan Blaney. If we don't get another caution, at least he should be able to finish 25th or better. Versus if he would have crashed out completely, he wouldn't have been able to finish that high in the running order. Buescher with another shot to the back of Blaney after Blaney got around him in turn 3. Huge help and pretty decent speed going off into turn 1. And Blaney's going to get around the 36 of David Reagan once again. Yeah, let me try to do a barrel roll with my real car and see if I can fix all the damage and make it spotless again. Yeah, I would imagine it would probably take, some vehicles might take off more than 50,000 miles. And he's slowly starting to catch back up to some of these guys. Again, he's not going to have speed that the leaders have. At least enough to catch back up to them over the course of a green flag run. So we'll see. And now on that left rear corner panel of Custer, trying to side draft him and hang with him down on this next straightaway, and maybe he can make a pass into turn 2. Pulling the air right off that rear spoiler. Into turn 2, and Blaney will pass Cole Custer. Now a run on Chad Fincham. Still a ways to go as far as trying to decide if a strategy game will work or not for the 12 of Blaney, but currently it is Kyle Busch out in front of the field in the Pocono 350. The second race of the Pocono doubleheader here today. And Blaney swept the stages and won the first race, passing Logano with a lap and a half to go in the race to edge him out to the victory. And came around and won stage 1. Looked like he had a pretty fast car. Luck was not on his side, though, at the end of stage 2. Stuck back in traffic on another restart and got into an accident. Running 3 wide through the tunnel turn, which we had mentioned really all day throughout not only this race, but the first race, that you cannot go through that corner 3 wide. Blaney was stuck in the middle, nowhere to go. Into the wall, contact with Suarez, and around he ended up going on corner exit. About 4 or 5 cars also piled in and were involved. But Blaney obviously had the worst of the damage. The interesting dilemma is, though, too, if we get a caution, that's not going to be enough to win Blaney the race. He's likely going to have to get multiple cautions. It depends on when that one lone caution comes out. If he can stay on the lead lap long enough, could help him. Now, he did not pit, though, under the last yellow, so Blaney would have to pit before everybody else by about 10 laps or so. These guys can probably make it till about 10 laps to go in the race before they have to pit. Blaney would have to pit with about 20 to go. Those tires might be able to go the length of the stage as well. And another thing Blaney could do, I guess, is stay out of the pits and try to maybe trap a couple more cars a lap down. But this is such a big track that even if he stayed out longer than everybody else, somehow, some way, if they decided to short pit, he wouldn't lap that many cars with this being such a long racetrack. "40 laps remain. This is likely going to be a race that will put an end to the good fortune and the good luck that Blaney's had over the last handful of races to take the points lead for the first time all season about 4 or 5 races ago and started expanding on it. Guys that are second, third, fourth in points behind him, like Keselowski, Denny Hamlin, and Kyle Busch, especially Busch leading this race today. It'd be a huge win for Kyle to gain back in the point standings. Not only with a win, he won Stage 2 as well. Got stage points in Stage 1. You're talking about a near max points day for Kyle Busch if he can get the win today. Big run. He's going to get around Corey LaJoie, Bubba Wallace through turn 1. Trying to shake the draft on LaJoie. Corey back up to the outside now, and he's actually going to get to the outside of Blaney. A little contact. Blaney checked him up just enough to now beat him in turn 2. That was actually for position on both drivers, so that'll move Ryan Blaney up to 12th. 22nd, rather. About a half a lap behind Busch. Exactly 27 and a half seconds off the lead. We'll see if that interval is coming down at all as well. Busch is not in lap traffic. That's another thing that's helping Kyle Busch, is he's got the clean air advantage. This is one of the hardest tracks to pass on, especially when you're the leader. Joshua White, welcome to the stream. Brian O'Born, welcome as well. Well, you're going to have some dull moments throughout the course of a full race anyway. Very, very rarely it would be action-packed throughout. So there's not really anything you can do to enhance it other than maybe the hardest difficulty. So you're having to fight the entire race, especially if you don't have the right setup. So constantly working on the car to make adjustments during pit stop after pit stop. That could help with it, but yeah, no matter what, you're going to get into points where it's spaced out, kind of like you're seeing right now in this race. It's just so long of a race. You're racing for a couple hours. One single race, it's going to get spaced apart. The only other way that it wouldn't be that way is if you ran like Daytona or Talladega, where everything's bunched together, or even a short track, for instance. Any short track would probably help spice it up so you're constantly passing cars. Yeah, again, face cam not on tonight. Using the laptop to stream over the last few days with NASCAR Heat 5 to get the better visual quality, and I have a PS4 camera, so it does not connect into my PC. Blaney's about to get back into the top 20 here. Ryan Preece, Christopher Bell just in front of him, so he is gaining ground. He was the pit right now as well. He could make it on fuel to the end of the race. The problem is he's so far behind the race leader, he would go a lap down if he short pitted, so he does have to stay out as long as he can. He is still losing time to Kyle Busch, though, despite the fact he is moving up positions-wise. A couple laps ago, he was 27 and a half seconds off the lead. Now he's about 29 seconds back. Hurt your fingers when you're on the throttle for 3 hours. You just got to make sure you're not pressing as hard as you can. I understand that. I used to have the same problem when I tried it when I was younger, just because I would be pressing as hard as I can the whole time, but I'm so relaxed that it doesn't bother me at all. I'm not having to press down as hard as I can. I'm using an Elgato HD60S capture card. I've got the HDMI running from my TV through that, and then a USB port and an HDMI, or HDMI into a USB, which plugs into the laptop. I've always been a relaxed person, though. I wouldn't say I get very stressed out. That last lap, Blaney was 1/10 of a second quicker than Kyle Busch. Busch is in lap traffic right now as well. That could be costing him a little bit of time. 33 laps to go. We're almost halfway through the final stage of the race, and we are nearing the very end of this one. Over 100 laps complete. Blaney overdrove turn 2 by quite a bit. The left side of his left side tires clipped the grass. Going off into turn 2. Big slide on corner exit. Was able to catch the car. Barely had to lift. Definitely slowed him down a little bit. He drove right out of it. Oh, trust me, I get tense too. When I do these, well, I mean, I shouldn't say I get tense, but I get tensed enough to where I literally, especially if I'm using the steering wheel, like I'm sweating at the end of the stream. Not a lot, but like just enough that I could just, kind of feel I'm sweating. A lot of it, I think, is just sitting in the same spot for like 2 hours, not moving. But it doesn't matter how much water I drink. Blaney got right into the back of Jimmy Johnson there in turn 3. Still cleared Michael McDowell on corner exit. McDowell maybe looking for a crossover, not going to get it there. And now Blaney looking to move into the top 15 on Jimmy Johnson. Blaney has willed this race car, very heavily damaged, back into the top 15. Even if this race stays green to the end, you almost wonder if he can maybe still get a top 10 finish. Pushing pretty heavy lap traffic that's allowing that interval to maybe not fall off as much. See how loose the race car is getting over the course of the run, even with the damage. It just takes a lot longer into the run for that to happen. As old of tires as he's had, not only in this race, but the first Pocono race today as well. Yeah, that's one thing. I mean, I can race aggressively throughout the course of a race, and I trust my ability with this game, or really the NASCAR Heat Series in general. Something I obviously am still trying to learn is NASCAR Thunder 04 when to race aggressively, because obviously you guys have seen recently we've had a lot of bad luck with DNFing in races there. About midway through the race, we make it about halfway, and then a freak accident happens. Now, granted, a lot of the freak accidents that have happened haven't even been my fault. Have been wiped out by another car or something of that nature. But especially in the last 3 races we DNF, we flat out just got wrecked and dumped by somebody else. But it's a lot harder to race aggressively in that game and actually keep control of the car compared to this game. And a lot of it is likely the 550 horsepower package. You just have more downforce with these cars. Same thing with NASCAR Heat 4. Blaney is up to 13th as he'll clear Newman before they even get into turn 3. We still have not had a caution in the final stage of the race yet. We had 2 in stage 2, 1 in, all 3 cautions were in stage number 2. We did not have a single caution in stage 1 or 3 yet. The only 2 cautions we had in the first Pocono race today were 1 in stage 3 and 1 in stage 1. And that last caution in the first race came with 37 laps to go. And we are already past that point in this race. Seven and a half seconds off the lead. Blaney's cutting into that time on Kyle Busch. Still go about 5 or 6 more laps on fuel. Chase Elliott only 2 seconds ahead of Blaney now in 12th. Quinn Half held up Chase Elliott enough to where I think Blaney should be able to catch Elliott this next lap. So when Blaney hits pit road, though, if it does stay green to the end, he's going to gain even more time with fresh tires. And everybody else is going to be on 30-lap older tires. Something else that probably took him a little bit to get going is the fact that Blaney had 10-lap older tires at the start of this run. You really didn't see him start running guys back down again until about 10-15 laps ago. Tyler Burback, welcome to the stream. It does feel like ground has been made between the 12 on the 18, who was the race leader. 25 seconds off the lead now, so yeah, he has. Blaney's gained about 4 seconds in the last 5 laps. Anthony Hanley, welcome to the stream. There's Stenhouse in 11th. Blaney hard into turn 1 on the brakes. Hit his marks perfectly. I wonder how. I'll have to calculate how many miles I've done with the full race live streams on the channel. I mean, I'd have to go back through every video. As far as just like the full race live streams go, even just with NASCAR Heat 5 in general, it'd probably be a lot easier to calculate. Just we've had to have gone well over 1 million miles, I'd have to guess. Well, maybe not quite that many. I guess 1 million's a lot more than what I'm kind of thinking in my head as far as how many miles we've raced. It's definitely been over 100, well over a couple 100,000. That's for sure. Blaney can go a little bit longer, perhaps, on this run with that fuel tank. Nearly full throttle through turn 2 there. Yeah, another new track for the Truck Series in Knoxville. They're going back to Watkins Glen as well. Of course, they're racing Dirt Bristol too, and then Nashville Super Speedway. So there's four tracks that they wouldn't have had on the schedule last year already in the schedule for next year. Ryan Blaney going to come to pit road this time. Going to try to push the limits here coming to pit road. Can't speed. 4 fresh tires, full tank of fuel coming. 55 miles an hour is the pit road speed limit, and he gets down easily. Going to put just enough fuel in the car to make it to the end. 3/4 of a tank. Going to make a wedge adjustment here, 1 round all the way around as well. Try and loosen the car up so it loosens up earlier in the run. Not expecting any of the leaders to come to pit road for about another 8 to 10 laps, so Blaney will likely gain a little bit of ground here. As long as there isn't a caution. Being a little bit off the lead like he was, he might go a lap down still. I would have to imagine he would. Yeah, there goes Kyle Busch. So Busch just got back around. And that would mean Ryan Blaney is now 1 lap down, so he really needs this to play green. Otherwise, he'd have to take the wave around. Restart at the back of the pack anyway. You just feel how fast this car is already with the 4 fresh tires compared to what it was on older tires. A little bit of a wedge adjustment as well could help. And we are going to see, can Ryan Blaney pull off a miracle here today? Brendan Gaughan diving into the pits. One of the lap cars going to pit early. Again, he's still lacking on straightaway speed, and that is going to be the case. Strictly with the damage problem. Not as tight either on the short run, that wedge adjustment. Knowing he's only running 20 laps to the finish on these tires. It's not going to upset the car by the end of the race. Big run in turn 2. Blaney almost put it in the wall. He tried to get back in the gas as soon as he could. And you saw how much ground he was able to gain on Kurt Busch. He was in 3rd place. Blaney right in the draft of Busch. Trying to help himself out. Down the long pond straightaway. Looks low. Breaks out of line. He just can't get the horsepower he needs to get by Kurt Busch. He's going to have to send it off into turn 1. Drives it in deep. And he is going to clear. There's a pass in the tunnel turn now on Corey LaJoie. It's Martin Truex Jr. who is in second place. Quite a ways back from Kyle Busch. That would be the next car Ryan Blaney has to pass on this run. $18 laps to go for the leaders. Blaney was contemplating fuel only or right sides only under that last pit stop to try and save time, but the problem with that is I don't think the tires would have made it the final 20 laps of the race. And that's a mistake that I think he made by staying out of the pits under the stage brake, because otherwise he would have only had to make it 10 laps. And he wouldn't have lost as much ground on the restart as well if he would have had fresher tires. Even though he's been slower on fresher tires in this race today, it's a little different when you've got this much damage on the race car and you're just slowed throughout the course of the run anyway. I don't know if anybody expected the final stage to go caution-free, but again, it has up to this point. And we are very, very closely nearing a possibility that it could finish that way as well. Kyle Busch looking to get yet another win this season. Dominated majority of the day. Again, Blaney's only led 2 green flag laps all day long, and those were the last 2 laps of stage 1. So, tale of 2 stories, really, between how he ran in race 1 versus race 2. He didn't lead the most laps in race 1 necessarily. Pocono actually led over half the race, but he definitely led a lot more. And when he did lead, he had pretty sizable leads. He was never really having to battle for the lead. Kyle Busch on pit road. Gonna short pit compared to Martin Truex Jr. I thought they could have made it about another 4 or 5 more laps, but Kyle Busch will be the first of the leaders to hit pit road. And that is likely going to increase his lead as long as he wasn't speeding going to pit road and has a decent stop at least. So that will give Martin Truex Jr. the lead currently. Martin Truex Jr. coming to pit road. Blaney almost ran into the back of him. He had to check up in turn 3. Truex was very slow there. I don't know if he might have ran out of gas early or not. But he was very slow trying to limp it onto pit road, and Blaney almost ran right into the back of him. And knowing how much damage is already on the 12 car, that probably would have ended his day. And Blaney just cycled ahead of Kevin Harvick. and Joey Logano, both of those two drivers were quite a ways ahead of him. He was so far behind Truex and Kyle Busch, though, he didn't even get his lap back by the time they came to pit road. Kyle Busch is still ahead of him by at least 10 seconds, it looks like, if not more. Twin Half coming into pit road. Blaney had to go high. That'll cost him a little time. Allowing Harvick to maybe catch him a little sooner. Blaney has cycled into the top 10. There's Byron. That'll get him up to 8th place. Though Harvick is closed in behind, Blaney kind of overruns turn 1 a little bit. And that allows Harvick to get the spot. I don't think all the leaders have hit pit road yet. They might have. He's going to let Byron go. He's not going to worry about trying to hold him off. Too many laps left in the race. Same goes for Logano. And Blaney got back in the gas a little too soon there. .13 to go. Busch has about a half a lap lead again on Blaney. At max, it was about 29 seconds off. The only thing you can wonder is if we get an overtime finish, will the 12 car have enough speed by that point in the run to pull something off if he gets the help on the restart? With maybe a couple pushes down these long straightaways. Ricky Stenhouse is in 12th. He's about 6.5 seconds behind him. It's going to take a while for Stenhouse to get there. That would mean Blaney would restart on the preferred bottom lane if we did get a caution. Comes Eric Jones. He's a lap down. He'll blow by Blaney. Blaney going to try to draft him down the Long Pond straightaway, at least help him out a little bit with the straightaway speed here. Again, next full race live stream will be tomorrow. 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll go to Indianapolis for the Brickyard 400. And then we will run the Indianapolis Road Course race after that for the Xfinity Series. So another doubleheader on the channel tomorrow. So Elliott got around Stenhouse. I think Elliott might have gotten caught behind a lap car because Stenhouse got right back around him, and he's now about a half a second ahead of him. Again, Blaney just hoping for a caution. Some point in time over the course of this run. It depends how many cars might be on the lead lap too. If we only have enough cars to where Blaney would only lose a couple spots on the restart if he pitted, he could pit and take 4 fresh tires as well and maybe try to gang up on some guys on the restart that way. Probably loosen the car up even more with an adjustment as well. Maybe help the car slide into the corners a little bit better versus being a little too tight at the beginning of the run like he usually is. He already loosened it up once. He can probably loosen it up again. Especially if we get a couple lap shootout to the finish. Make that thing as loose as you want. Just got to make it 2 laps. 10 to go. Stenhouse and Elliott are running Blaney down for 11th. They're about 2 seconds off the lead now. Seems like Blaney pulls them a couple tenths in the corners, but again, the straightaway speed just is not there on the 12 car. And that's simply because he's able to roll into the corners a lot deeper because of how slow he is down the straightaways with the damage. Look at that, turn 2. Gained 0.2 of a second in turn 2. Pulled away 0.2 of a second, I should say, on Stenhouse. Car up in smoke with 9 laps to go. Will that bring out a caution? Blaney cannot see going into turn 1. Not sure who it is. Oh, and around goes Jones. Jones is hard into the wall. Comes back down the track. And Blaney clobbers him. And that is the end of the race. Blaney tried to miss him. Jones came down the racetrack. And Blaney just clipped him. In what was looking like he could have salvaged a top 15 finish. He gets involved in the last caution of the race with just 9 laps to go. An unbelievable finish in a terrible way. And that will set up a restart for everybody else when we go to take a look at the finishing results. That was the worst thing that could have happened. It looked like a rear tire likely went out on Eric Jones down the long pond straightaway. And by the time they got off into turn 1, he lost control, ended up in the wall, and he started to slide back down the banking of the racetrack. And Blaney tried to go high to miss him. He was hard on the brakes, and there was just nowhere to go. That was the caution he needed, but the fact that he was involved in it and it took him out of the race, that is a tough break. He's only going to score 11 points today with that stage win in stage 1 and then the 1 point for the finishing position. So we'll take a look at the finishing results. Again, I have to do the points myself anyway, so I can't include the stage. And Matt Kenseth is going to get the win. Kind of randomizes the finishing order whenever you DNF in this game. Now, granted, there would have been a restart with about 5 laps to go, and I'm not sure where Kenseth was originally. But Matt Kenseth will go on to win his first race of the season, and that will lock himself up in the playoffs. He is the 10th different winner now this season. I said 7 earlier. Just looking at the points now, that is the 10th different winner of the season. And Matt Kenseth was right on the bubble, too. It was a huge win. He looked fast at the beginning of the race, so it is somewhat feasible that he ended up actually getting the win. So we'll take a look at the top 10. Kenseth with the win. Alex Bowman second. He led laps at one point in the race today. Denny Hamlin also led laps, finished third. Kyle Busch fourth, who dominated the majority of the day. Also your winner at stage 2. William Byron with a top 5 run in 5th. Truex, who was running top 3 all day, finishes 6th. He led a lot of laps also. Kurt Busch 7th. Eric Almirola 8th. Corey LaJoie with a top 10 run in 9th. And Ricky Stenhouse ran about 10th all day. Will finish 10th in this race. And the only driver we know of that DNF'd was Ryan Blaney with a last place run. What a tough finish. Definitely a tough way to go out. So I'll have to calculate the points for both races of the Pocono doubleheader, so that will be updated by the time the Brickyard 400 will start tomorrow. And as usual, here for the outro, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Hit the like button down below if you enjoyed the race commentary of the video in general. And again, we have these full race live streams with a realistic broadcast on the daily. 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Brickyard 400 tomorrow will be the next live stream. The Xfinity Series race at Indianapolis will be tomorrow as well on the road course, and that will be after the finish of the Brickyard 400, so tune in for both of those races if you do wish to. All right, well, that's going to wrap it up. Thanks for everybody tuning in here tonight. Have a good rest of your night, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.